After the age of 60, something strange happens. We wake up one morning and suddenly feel like our body has shifted into a different gear, slower, heavier, tighter. Movements that were once effortless now demand a pause, a deep breath, or a silent negotiation with our joints. But here's the truth that most surgeons and doctors don't say out loud. Your body isn't failing you. It's simply waiting for you to unlock it again. And that's exactly where this one powerful exercise comes in, the hidden movement that top surgeons quietly swear by. It's not trendy, it's not complicated, but if you master it, it has the power to restore strength, balance, mobility, and energy in ways most people over 60 never believe are possible. Let me take you back to a moment I'll never forget. I was standing inside a rehabilitation center in Chicago. A man 67 years old walked in, leaning heavily on a cane. His name was Richard. 30 years of desk work had crushed his posture. Years of blood pressure meds had drained his stamina. He told the surgeon, "Doc, I just want to feel like myself again. Even 50% would be enough." The surgeon smiled gently and said, "Richard, what if I told you you could feel 20 years younger? Not by running, not by lifting weights, but by mastering just one movement." Richard didn't believe him. Most people don't. But the surgeon continued, "If you can get this one exercise right, your hips open, your spine decompresses, your knees finally get real support, your lungs expand, and your heart pumps more efficiently. Do it daily, and you'll feel better than most 40-year-olds. Richard agreed to try. The exercise wasn't some fancy gym move. It didn't require equipment. It didn't require flexibility. It didn't even require strength. It required awareness. Awareness of how the body moves, how energy flows, how joints unlock, how muscles activate in ways they haven't in decades. As the surgeon guided him through it, something incredible happened. Richard's breathing eased. His shoulders dropped. His lower back relaxed. His knees stopped trembling, and for the first time in years, he stood tall, not with force, not with effort, but with natural alignment. "Why does this feel so good?" he asked. The surgeon answered, "Because your body remembers how to be young. You just haven't asked it to be." That's when everything changed. Over the next 7 days, Richard did the movement for less than 5 minutes each morning. He didn't diet. He didn't join a gym. He didn't buy supplements. He simply practiced the exercise the surgeon taught him. On day 8, he walked into the clinic again, this time without his cane. His eyes were wider. His steps were lighter. His voice had more energy. He said, "Doc, you gave me my life back." But the surgeon corrected him, "No, you gave it back. I just showed you the key." And here's the part most people don't realize. Richard's story isn't rare. It happens every day when older adults unlock this one movement that resets the entire body. Because after 60, your body doesn't need more stress. It needs alignment, activation, and circulation. This exercise delivers all three. Imagine waking up and feeling your lower back loosening, your hips opening naturally, your knees feeling lighter, your balance suddenly improving, your breathing becoming deeper, your energy returning before 9 am not because of medication, not because of surgery, but because you finally activated the part of your body that controls everything else. See, the biggest problem after 60 isn't age, it's disconnection. We stop moving the way the body was designed to move. We stop activating deep stabilizer muscles. We stop stretching the muscles that hold our frame upright. We stop sending blood and oxygen into the areas that keep us young. But the good news? The body forgives quickly. It wakes up fast. It responds dramatically even at 60, 70, or 80 years old. And this single exercise is the spark. Surgeons love it because it's gentle. Therapists love it because it restores mobility. Older adults love it because it works almost instantly. When you practice it, you're not just moving. You're sending a message to your body that says, wake up, align, strengthen, open, repair. This is why people say, I feel taller. My balance came back. My knees don't hurt as much. My back feels alive again. I can finally breathe deeper. You're reversing stiffness. You're reducing pain. You're boosting circulation. You're restoring the coordination between your brain and body. You're reactivating muscles that haven't turned on in years. Age isn't the enemy. Inactivity is. Disconnection is. But connection, movement, activation, those are the real anti-aging tools. And if you master this exercise, it becomes your daily reset button, the switch that turns back the clock every morning you wake up. This is where your transformation begins. This is where you take back control. This is where your second life starts, stronger, steadier, more energized than you've felt in years. Most people assume that aging is a slow collapse of strength, energy, and mobility, but modern research from places like Harvard Medical School, Mayo Clinic, and the University of California shows something very different. What truly happens after age 60 is not a loss of ability, but a loss of connection between the brain and muscles, between breathing and movement, between posture and strength, and between the body's inner stabilizers and the outer muscles that carry your weight. That's why the simple daily exercise we talked about earlier works so powerfully. It reactivates those connections in a way that heavy workouts or long routines never could. It resets the body from the inside out, which is exactly what top orthopedic surgeons and geriatric specialists want seniors to understand. As we get older, deep stabilizer muscles responsible for keeping the spine aligned and the hips supported begin to switch off. These muscles include the transverse abdominis, multifidus, pelvic stabilizers, and the diaphragm muscles most people never think about, yet they quietly control everything from balance to joint comfort to breathing quality. When these muscles shut down, the body begins compensating. The lower back tightens, the hips lose motion, the knees take extra pressure, and simple movements start feeling stiff, uncertain, or weak. This isn't because the body is fragile. It's because the communication system inside the body is disrupted. The primary kinetic reset movement corrects this by turning those deep muscles back on. It restores neuromuscular communication, strengthens spinal stability, increases blood flow to critical joints, and gives the brain a clear, predictable map of movement again. That's why people feel lighter and more mobile, almost immediately. It's not magic, it's physiology. Another issue aging adults face is a gradual fading of neuromuscular signaling. The brain becomes less efficient at sending clean, precise instructions to the body. Movements that were once natural, standing tall, rotating the hips, bending smoothly, stepping confidently, begin to feel uncoordinated. But this gentle daily movement reawakens those pathways. It encourages the brain to relearn proper alignment, reactivate balance centers, and improve fine motor control. This is one reason doctors from Johns Hopkins and NYU emphasize control. Slow functional movements over heavy gym exercises for older adults. It's not about building muscle. It's about restoring communication. Circulation is another silent factor in aging. Blood flow to the spine and hips reduces significantly after 60, which is why stiffness, nerve tingling, and joint dryness increase. The exercise you're learning increases that blood flow, especially to the lumbar spine, gluteal muscles, and hip flexors. Better circulation means more oxygen, better nerve sensitivity, smoother joint function, and a noticeable lift in energy levels. Seniors doing this movement daily report feeling like their back unlocks or their hips open, and medically, this sensation comes from tissues finally receiving oxygen again. One of the most underrated benefits of this exercise is the improvement in breathing. As the diaphragm weakens with age, the body relies on shallow chest breathing, which increases stress hormones and reduces oxygen delivery. The movement forces deeper, controlled breathing, strengthening the diaphragm, calming the nervous system, reducing inflammation, and increasing overall vitality. Doctors from UCLA's pulmonary division often say, better breathing is better aging, and this movement naturally trains the lungs and diaphragm to work as they should. When done consistently, the changes become even more profound. The spine naturally decompresses, reducing pressure on nerves and joints. This is why many seniors feel taller and more flexible. It's not an illusion. Decompression literally creates space between vertebrae, allowing the spine to move as it was designed. With the spine aligned, the hips begin to unlock. When the hips regain rotation, walking becomes smoother, knee pressure decreases, and balance improves dramatically. A stiff hip is responsible for most age-related mobility problems, and that movement directly targets that stiffness without strain or intensity. As posture corrects and stabilizing muscles activate, joint pain begins to fade. It's not the painkillers that help its alignment. When the skeleton is properly supported, knees stop grinding, shoulders stop rounding, and the lower back stops carrying the body's weight alone. This is why people feel relief in days or weeks, not months. The body heals quickly when its positioning is restored. Balance is one of the most important improvements older adults experience. Falls happen not because the legs are weak, but because the brain can't predict movement accurately. This exercise retrains those neural circuits. It restores the body's ability to sense position, react to shifts, and stabilize quickly. Older adults often describe feeling more grounded or more secure on their feet. This is a direct result of improved proprioception, the body's internal GPS, which this movement enhances deeply. Another surprising benefit is the rise in metabolism. When the deep core activates, the body becomes more efficient at using energy, processing insulin, and maintaining healthy weight. You start to feel lighter, clearer, and more energized throughout the day. Better alignment also reduces inflammation, which is linked to conditions like arthritis, fatigue, and cognitive fog. Breathing patterns improve, stress drops, and sleep quality begins to rise. A healthy diaphragm triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing anxiety and promoting calmness. Many seniors report better sleep within the first week of practicing this movement daily. The most powerful change, however, is the slowing of biological aging. When your spine is decompressed, your hips move freely, your diaphragm works fully, and your deep core stabilizes. The body, you aren't just exercising, you're reversing the underlying causes of age-related decline. The body becomes more efficient, more coordinated, more supported, and more energized. These are the qualities associated with youth, not age, and they are completely achievable at 60, 70, and even 80 years old. You are not losing strength, you are reconnecting strength. You are not becoming weaker. Your body has simply been waiting for the correct signals. You are not declining, you are rebuilding. This one simple movement, done daily with intention, has the power to restore stability, activate forgotten muscles, retrain the brain, and bring back the vitality that aging tried to take. Not by force, not by intensity, but by reawakening the natural intelligence built into your body. Your next chapter of movement and freedom begins here with a small daily reset that can give you years of strength, balance, and life back, one breath and one gentle motion at a time.